played all right 3 periods. Just couldn't score. So yeah, we gotta find a way how to score.
What do you have to do going forward? You have 3 games left to, clinch a spot and get your game in order before the playoffs.
Yeah, I think we just gotta watch some video and see what didn't work today, and then learn from there, and then take those with us and go the next game.
What makes Winnipeg so hard to score against?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, they have a good goalie, and they play good defensively. But like I said, we just gotta find a way how to score against them.
Do you feel like you guys had the opportunities in the high danger areas, or do you feel like they did a good job of keeping you out of those spaces?
I think we had a couple, but like I said, didn't have many. So we got to work on that and how to get on those areas and get some better looks.
Roope, how close do you feel like this team is to where you want it to be for playoff time?
Yeah, but I believe in this group, and of course everybody here in this room believes in our group. Obviously, like today was a tough game. We didn't get the win, but yeah, we gotta learn from this, learn from here, and get to the next game.
There's different clinching scenarios that could happen. You guys might lock up a 2 seed tonight. Regardless of that, is it important to get some wins before the postseason, not going on a big losing streak?
Well, of course, it's important to get the good feeling to go to the playoffs, and so I think the biggest thing is to just play good and feel good as a group and prove that we're in there for a reason.
You guys have talked about it recently. Pete's talked about it recently that you're not playing quite the brand of hockey that you really want to right now, at least not in the immediate recent past. How far are you from where you want to be, and how do you get to where you need to be before the first round starts?
Yeah, it's hard to say how far are we, but like I said, no, these next 3 games we gotta try to take the next step and keep it there, and then get ready to the playoffs.
F-level type hockey, they seem to be, it was hard to get through them right now.
Yeah, we've struggled with them all year. And, they're the best defensive team in the league, and their record is where it's at because of that. And, yeah, I mean, if we do what we want to do in the first round, there's a good chance we see them in the second, and we got to figure that out. So, as simple as that. I thought we did a lot of good things. I thought our work ethic was good. I thought we, created some traffic shots, things like that. But they were one and done a little too much, and we had some kind of, breakdowns that ended up in our net. And I don't think we were, it's not like they were dominating us all night. I don't think it was a 4-0 type game by any means. Felt probably more like a 2-1 either side, but. At the end of the day, we went through the same thing with Vegas last year. I mean, they had our number in the regular season, and we couldn't score on them, and we got them in playoffs and won. So, I think the last 2 games are steps in the right direction of where we want to get to. As bad, as funny as it sounds, obviously you have a meltdown, 1 minute left. I think you take that 1 minute out, I think it was a pretty damn good game last game, and tonight, I don't think it's as bad of a game as 4-0, but it's we got to find ways to get wins, and we have 3 left here to get ready, and we're gonna have a tough test in round 1. Obviously, our division is the best division in the league, and there's no easy one first round.
You just alluded to it. This result obviously does basically lock you into Avs in the first round, and then if you win, probably Winnipeg second round. It's not that you guys are daunted by anything necessarily, but that's a difficult path now.
Absolutely, and we had the hardest path last year too. We got to the finals. There's no one that played 3 conference final level teams. So, you got to go through the best to win, and a lot of the best teams are on our side this year. So, yeah, it is what it is. I think we need to use these last 3 to really get our heads ready and our game to where it needs to be. And, we see these teams a lot. We know what they bring, and we've had success and we've had failure against both. So, I think it's all about these next 3 getting ready.
Every team goes through stretches like this in the season. It's just kind of unfortunate timing, I guess, that it's right here at the end. So how do you guys kind of turn the page quickly and use these next 3 to get your head right?
Yeah, I think we've had very little adversity in the 2 years I've been here, and that speaks to how good a team we are. I think it's the first time we've ever lost, 3 in a row. More now, obviously, but like we've never gone more than 2 losses back to back, and that's incredible for how many games it was. And this is a little bit of a valley, and the nice thing about valleys is there's a peak on the other side of it. So, but we got to work to get there, and yeah, I think there's a lot of good in our game. I think there's just you can't get shut out. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't win with 0 goals, and we haven't generated nearly enough against them, in 3 of the 4 games this year, and they've had our number a little bit that way, and that happens in this league. Like I mentioned, Vegas did it to us last year, and we ended up beating them in the first round. So playoffs is always a different animal, and but we got to get a game together before that game one against Colorado. I mean, sometimes I don't mind it for us right now. To be honest with you, as long as we do what we need to do to get out of it, I think it makes us really reflect on what our game is and what we do well. We were winning games when we weren't playing well, and I think eventually that catches up with you. This league is too good for there's no phony business in this league. You can go through things like that for a bit, but it always it always comes to a head, and you end up paying for it. So unfortunately, I think these 2 games were better games than we played some of the ones we won. So we got to take the positive, continue to get better. We're a humble group in here. We're a driven group. When we win, we don't sit in it. When we lose, we can't sit in it either. You can't just have lows and just be even keel when you win. You got to be even keel on both sides. And I'm sure we'll have a meeting tomorrow, watch some video, see what we can do better. And we have 3 left here, so we'll get after it.
It up to get yourself back in a game when you're behind. Turn the puck over. They thrive off that. So and we fell into that trap a little bit in the third, but again, I'm gonna we got to keep building here. There's some periods of hockey there, that for me are winning type hockey come playoff time in a week. So we've got to take those and build on them, and the things that don't help you win in the playoffs, like some of the plays we made in the third, we've got to eliminate.
In the first period, it did look like you had a lot of forwards coming back and helping to support the puck, and you had really good puck management. Is that kind of an example of what you mean by playoff winning hockey?
Yeah, I like I said, the first 40 minutes I thought were pretty decent. I was pretty happy with our game. We didn't score, which we obviously have to do, and we got to find a way to get to Hellebuck and get some more traffic, some more bodies to the net. But I thought it was definitely better than it has been, and how it's got to look come playoff time for 60 minutes.
First shutout of the year, and then you're on 4 straight losses. I mean, how do you from?
Yeah. Well, we've got 3 games left. We need a point, I think, to clinch home ice advantage. So that's the first step. And then we know who we're playing in the first round, and then it's just preparation. I mean, it's not getting over the hump now. We are in the playoffs. We know who we're playing. It's getting ready for game 1.
Duchene talked about how, the one good thing about a valley is, a peak's coming on the other side.
Yeah.
How do you guys find that peak? You mentioned some things that feel like
yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, we've got to build on those things, and again, I thought it's not bad to have some adversity, as a team, and particularly when it's not costing you. You're not going home at the end of the night, when you lose. So, as long as we learn from it, take the good stuff, and again, there's good stuff there. I want to make sure our group understands that I don't think we're very far off having a really good playoff team game.
That this game is a lot of mental
Yeah.
side of it. How much can the return of a player like Tyler Seguin to line up, fresh legs, fresh energy, kind of help the team?
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, both those guys are world-class players. I mean, we all know what Miro means to our group and our defense. And he's on the ice 30 minutes a night, or 27 or 26. So, you know, you add either of those guys and or both those guys, you know, you're a different team. But, you know, the reality is we don't have those guys. So there's no sense spending energy on talking about what it would look like or, you know, how it would feel, because we don't have them right now. When we do get them, we'll talk about that.
You talked before about process, you know, over result in this game, depending on a lot of things. In these last 3 games, is that still hold true, even if the result isn't there?
Yeah.
If the process is
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I do. I would rather lose and have, you know, long periods of good playoff type hockey, which I think the last 2 games I've seen some of that out of our group, you know, which we hadn't had for probably 2 or 3 weeks before that. So we're going to build on that.
You've been at this a long time. How important is it the way you end the regular season going?
Yeah. Well, Tyler Sagan said it to our group the other day. We went 10-2 down the stretch last year and proceeded to lose 2 home games to Vegas in the first round. So that tells you how important it is. Thanks.